welcome to the Great Awakening Ministry. I am Minister and Yogini Joanne Lee, and on this week's show, back again, we have Noémi Bates. Noémi has been a dedicated practitioner of King Yoga for over 25 years, leading workshops and King Yoga experience events at the Aetherius Society Temple in London, as well as regular practice sessions with the Awakening Through King Yoga International online community. She's a firm believer in the transformational power of mystic yoga, breathing, mantra, chanting, spiritual healing, prayer, and the practice of positive visualization and affirmation. In this show, we discuss how the 9 freedoms guides us from limitation to liberation. In this episode 2, we explore the next stages of the 9 freedoms: enlightenment, cosmic consciousness, and ascension. Learn how understanding karma leads to spiritual awakening, how meditation and service open the path to higher consciousness, and how ascension brings freedom from rebirth. Discover the universal truth that transcends religion, offering practical steps forward towards higher awareness, inner peace, and lasting spiritual realization and freedom. Additionally, Noémi will share Dr. George King's first-hand experience of cosmic consciousness, a rare and highly elevated state attained by only a few. She will also guide us through a beautiful meditation on ascension drawn from the 6th freedom.
UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good.
Hi, Noémi.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, and welcome back again to the...
Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah. And this episode 2 of the 9 freedoms from limitation to liberation, I'm really looking forward to. I really am.
Me too, yes.
I mean, it's just going to be absolutely amazing. So episode 2 is all about enlightenment, cosmic consciousness, and ascension. Wow.
Very big topic indeed. No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. That's right. Wow. So yeah, thank you for being back on the Great Awakening Show. We just love, all of your beautiful divine wisdom that you share with us, Noémi.
Well, thank you for inviting me back. It's a pleasure to be here and speaking with you and speaking about these very important topics, enlightenment, cosmic consciousness, and ascension. Yeah,
brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So let's get to it, and let's just recap a little bit on episode 1, where we discussed the first 3 freedoms: bravery, love, and service. Can you tell us why they mattered to us, and do they apply to everyone?
Yes, these first 3 freedoms are essential steps. They're vital steps that will prepare us for higher states of spiritual realization. And if we apply these first 3 freedoms, we'll be walking the path of service with courage and love towards enlightenment. The 9 freedoms is really a spiritual roadmap of evolution, which is showing us the direction all of us meant to be traveling, and which is actually towards spiritual awakening and realization on this earth and even beyond this earth. Also, these freedoms are not tied to any one particular religion or belief system because they're universal. We can apply them in a very practical way. So if we start living the first 3 freedoms, bravery, love, and service, we'll start walking the path of a service with courage and love, and we'll be treading the path to enlightenment.
Absolutely beautiful. And they are so important in that order as well: bravery, love, and service. Yes. And Dr. George King. So Dr. George King was the founder of the Aetherius Society. And through, when he received the 9 freedoms, they were channeled through him by Mars Sector 6. And he achieved incredible states, didn't he, by raising the Kundalini. Can you tell us more about this?
Yes, Dr. George King founded the Aetherius Society in 1955, but before he did so, he was already a fully enlightened master because he achieved this very high spiritual status through diligent practice of yoga. After the Second World War, he practiced the higher forms of yoga in particular for 10 years, something like 9 hours a day. And through this disciplined practice, he consciously was able to raise Kundalini, this primeval force which is lodged in the base of the spine, in full up through the spine, through each chakra or psychic center, and lodge it in a high chakra, like Christ center, and enter Samadhi. And he's done it hundreds of times while he was alive. And in this elevated state, he could meditate on any object, experiencing beautiful, blissful states, and also gain amazing psychic abilities. And it was in this state that he received the 9 freedoms from a great master called Mars Sector 6. And using his extraordinary powers of concentration, he was able to detach completely from his own conscious mind and focus purely on the carrier beam, which was projected by this master, Mars Sector 6, allowing him to relay the message and teachings word for word. So this is an extremely elevated state of consciousness that only a few can enter. And Dr. King was unique in this. He used trance mediumship. So when the Kundalini is fully and consciously raised in a Christ center, one becomes a master. And in that elevated state, he was able to channel masters from this world and also beyond this earth.
Wow, that's just amazing. Because are we not all here to raise our Kundalini? It doesn't matter if you're an atheist, if you're a Christian, if you are whatever, whatever, a Catholic, whatever you believe in, religion. We are all here to raise our Kundalini lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. We raise it through the different chakras and levels of consciousness within. Is that not so?
We are here on this earth. This earth is a wonderful classroom. We are going through many experiences, vital experiences. And that's why the 9 freedoms are so essential, because there are 9 major stepping stones, giving us wonderful guide on our spiritual journey of awakening, of realization. And they're also very empowering, these 9 freedoms, because we can always refer back to them when we're going through difficult situations in our life. And our wonderful guide is karma, which will help us to steer us to stay on the path of truth, of service, of love. Yeah. So it's our birthright, to go through these wonderful experiences, but it's entirely up to us. How long will it take, that journey?
Raising our vibration, raising the energy. It's so important, isn't it? And so let's go on to the freedoms. The 4th freedom, enlightenment. Let the light enter. Yeah. Yes. There is a lot of misunderstanding about enlightenment and karma. Many people perceive it as something negative. What is the purpose of it? See, enlightenment and karma, many people don't put that in the same category.
No.
Explain that, please, yes.
Well, if we look at our world, the reason there is so much suffering is because of the lack of understanding of karma. It's a universal law that governs everything in creation. And the result of this ignorance is hate, jealousy, greed, selfishness, wars, which is the result of all this ignorance, really. But on the other hand, if you have a more enlightened person who lives in harmony with karma, they understand that every thought and action shapes the future they experience. Simply put it, what you give out, you receive back. So karma is not here to punish us. It is here to teach us. And when we align our lives with this law, this universal law, we can actively shape a positive future for us. We are molding our future, our karma 24/7, even when we are sleeping, because part of the consciousness is still active. So it's good to be aware of this. Karma should be taught in schools to children because it's so basic. It really is. And people could avoid unnecessary experiences, painful experiences, if they knew about this very, very basic law. And I personally find great comfort in karma because, for example, if someone wrongs you, it would be unwise to wish them harm because through the natural workings of karma, they will eventually experience something similar to what they caused to other people. So it's a wonderful teacher. It's not here to punish us. It's here to teach us, to help us to understand what it feels like to be on the receiving end. And this will allow us to grow in empathy, in love, and also in great understanding and wisdom. Because this law applies equally to good things in our life and also to bad things in our life. So if we show kindness to others, life responds with kindness. If we give love, we receive love. So through these experiences, both positive and challenging, negative, we learn, and through that learning, we can choose what kind of life we really want to create for ourselves.
Yes. And that leads us to enlightenment, doesn't it? To become the master of your thoughts, feelings, words, and actions, and to make everyone a more sacred, more righteous thought, feeling, words, and actions, which stops, negative karma from coming back to us. Really, that is enlightenment, isn't it? To be the master over your lower self, if you like.
Yes, absolutely. And enlightenment is there are different stages of enlightenment. And more we follow this path of truth, of righteousness, more understanding will gain as well. Because enlightenment is opposite of ignorance. It is a living awareness of the great law that governs life, especially karma. But how do we begin to reach this state is to start with the first three freedoms, bravery, love, and service. They're really the basic. And there are big steps as well. And if we can incorporate them into our daily life, we will change ourselves. Because we are told, and I would like to read from this freedom, Mars Sector 6 says, enlightenment is a result of the controlled application of specific energies and procedures towards a predetermined end. And this master breaks it into three categories, which is physical, mental, and psychic. So on our path to enlightenment, we must learn to control all our faculties. This means taking responsibility not only for how we treat our physical body, but also how we think. Every action begins with a thought, because thoughts are real things. They are very powerful, living energy, and we are responsible for them, whether we realize it or not. So it's crucial for us to learn to control our thought pattern. So, for example, if we send out a negative, hateful thought towards someone, it can harm them. Even if the effect isn't immediately visible, because thoughts are made of mind stuff. And that interacts with the person's aura, which is around us, this auric envelope, and which is connected to the physical body through the chakras. So on the other hand, when we send positive and healing thoughts out, healing energy, it can uplift and benefit them. So it's very, very important to be also aware of our thought pattern.
Yes. Oh, definitely. And yes, as you just said, controlling the energies, isn't it? It's a state of being. Enlightenment is a state of being. And as you just said, controlling the energies. And what is psychic frustration? And how can spiritual practices help release it? Because basically, we're all here for spiritual fulfillment. You can't get that on the outside in that world. Nothing will give you that until it's truly spiritual fulfillment, which I believe is what we're all wanting and needing at the end of the day.
That's what we are all yearning for. And I would like to, if I may, take another quote. It says, psychic man. And here when Mars Sector 6 refers to man, he refers to humanity. Psychic man can escape from his prison of psychic frustration by tasks such as the dispensation of psychic energies upon a mental, spiritual level, such as the rendering of spiritual healing. Of all tasks capable to psychic man, this is the most beneficial. So here we have it. So many people, whether they realize it or not, experience psychic frustration of one kind or another. But psychic frustration is particularly harmful. It creates blockages in the aura, which can later manifest as a mental or physical illness, because the aura and the physical body are connected through the chakras, through nadis. For example, if we are used to channeling healing energy, love energy, and prayer to others, and suddenly we stopped it, and we don't replace it with anything similar to that of transmission of love energy and spiritual energy, healing energy, you will notice over time a severe tension building up in both your mental and physical body. And this is why it's so important not to stop any spiritual practices, especially those that involve radiating healing, love, and light to others. And in the Aetherius Society, we hold regular world healing services that anyone can join in, either in person in our centers or online if you live too far away. So in distant healing, we tap into the unlimited supply of universal life forces, also known as prana or chi, and then send it out in love to others. Because the sun is the main source of prana, of the universal life forces, and it acts as a carrier beam for our love energy. So through controlled thought and visualization, we can send healing energy and prayers to anyone, helping to heal and uplift them. And if anyone would like to join me and other kindred spirits on a pilgrimage, we'll be going up on 23rd of November to a mountain called Brownwilly, which is in Bodmin Moor in Cornwall. And because this mountain holds unique spiritual energies that anyone can tap into them, it's very accessible. All we have to do is just go into that place and just tap into the holy vibrations of the mountain. And anyone would like to join us, they're very welcome to come along. You'll find details on my website. And we'll be joining in with mantra. Mantra is a wonderful way to attracting into ourselves, drawing into ourselves high frequency of energy. And then send it out in love, in prayers, like using the 12 blessings. So together we'll be sending out waves of love energy, healing energy across the globe and to help to uplift our planet.
Wow, absolutely amazing. Oh, just so beautiful. And when people come together, it enhances that, because of all of their spiritual energy. That's why it makes it so powerful.
Absolutely. It becomes really, because it's as a group, we build up this beautiful energy and it becomes more powerful than when we are praying alone at home. We should still do it as part of our spiritual routine, spiritual practices. But when we come together, it becomes that much more powerful because it's not just my energy, it's the energy, the buildup of energy of everyone else. And it's very, very potent.
Wonderful. Yes, yes. And in what's the difference between concentration and contemplation in relation to meditation?
Yeah, that's a very, very good question. Now, when we read a book, we concentrate on the text and we try to not think about anything else. We can also concentrate on an object for long period of time, or a candle flame, or when we say a prayer again, we want to totally focus on that prayer when we radiate love energy out through us. So we are directing our thoughts towards that one focal point, exclusion of all else. Prayer is actually one of the best ways or exercises in concentration, because it requires our full attention to say or think it properly. And once we have gained control over our thoughts, we can then take the next major step on the path to enlightenment, which is contemplation. So in concentration, we focus on a single object. We could focus on a painting, for example. But in contemplation, we go even deeper than that. We tune into the painting itself. Who painted it? The mood the artist was in when he created it, the material used, and so forth. So when we gain great enlightenment, because there are different levels of it, our intuition becomes a more reliable guide, because it comes from a higher self, our true self, and it will always lead us towards what is best for us. It will never let us down. But before full enlightenment dawns, there is a transmutation of mental energies on the plane of inspiration called high intuition. So the next vital step in this journey is meditation, and which will allow us to deepen our awareness and contact fully with these higher states of consciousness.
Beautiful. Meditation. Meditation is know thyself. It's, isn't it? Know thyself, know thy true self, experience thy true self, the higher self that is within. Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
We're all, it's the old cliche, go within, but it's so true, because it's where all possibilities and all the answers to all the, questions lie. That's why it's so important to have that still mind.
It is, because
in still mind, we can receive the higher knowledge and intelligence from source, from God, from, the universe. It's so important.
Absolutely. And that's where the knowledge is within us, and very great power as well, if we can tap into it. Great realization, and from realization comes understanding and enlightenment.
Yes, beautiful. That's where the light is. It's the light within, the spiritual light within. And Mars Sector 6, who Dr. King channeled from the 9 freedoms, says, enlightenment, this is so beautiful, is simplicity. Why is simplicity so important spiritually? It's just beautiful.
Yes, I mean, if we're honest with ourselves, we can see that we tend to complicate life. Yet life is so simple. Someone who lives simply can be very content, yet while others who appear to have it all, appear to have everything, are still unsatisfied, always wanting more. And I would like to go back to, again, Mars Sector 6, who provides us a valuable guide when he says, ignorance is the result of the complication devised by terrestrial man. Therefore, enlightenment is simplicity. Use that as the text for your contemplation, and eventually, when meditation is possible, much will be revealed. He also reminds us that enlightenment cannot dawn while the clouds of indiscrimination cover the skies of your mentality. Discriminate. You have been told how to do this. Do it, and go into enlightenment. Wonderful words. I mean, seriously, the 9 freedoms are full of gems. And we can use them for our contemplation, for our meditations, because discrimination is very important and should be applied in all aspects of life. I recall that during my search for truth, and I'm going to use the word desperate, because I was really desperate for answers. Everything I encountered on my spiritual search, I would examine using logic and also using my intuition. I would ask myself, Does this make sense? Does it ring true? And this is where our best guide, our intuition comes in, because listening to our inner voice allows it to grow stronger and clearer and guiding you towards understanding and also enlightenment.
That's so true. It's beautiful. And that's the inner voice of the true self. You know, the true divine self within. And it's so important, you know, because as I say, it's like every morning we have a choice. We can go with the true divine self, or we can go with the egoic, you know, negative thoughts. You know, there's one stream, is there not? And that stream comes through us for us to use for either good or bad in this world. This is the free will that we have. But there's only one stream, you know, that's through us. So it's beautiful, yes. And
yes, the choice is ours. Yes, definitely.
And the fifth freedom, this is just amazing. Cosmic consciousness. And it's so funny because they say in the yogic, you know, when you raise it up to, you have to the highest chakra, that's how you have cosmic consciousness. Like Shiva and Shakti coming together to have that, you know, the masculine and feminine, Shiva, everything comes together to have that oneness, which is our individual consciousness merging, becoming one with cosmic consciousness.
Yes, it is. It must be a very beautiful state. I never experienced it myself. I'm far from it.
Oh, me too.
But it is an even greater stage of enlightenment, the highest state of consciousness that is possible to enter. And in this freedom, the fifth freedom tells us, and I would like to take another quote from there. It says, freedom from limitation is only brought about by sincere and diligent directed effort through countless incarnations upon Terra. It is not some vague thing which just happens. It is made to happen. So humanity has placed many limitations upon itself, but we are here in a classroom of earth to learn to remove them. And if you imagine your soul as a brilliant light, which is veiled by layers of colored fabric, so the pure radiance that shines through our thoughts and actions is tinted by these coverings, by these different colored fabric coverings. And as we remove each layer of limitation, each layer of this fabric, the light becomes brighter and purer until it will radiate with its original, pure, beautiful radiance. And in that moment, we will become closer to absolute than ever before.
Isn't it? It's like, it's what Yogananda said. He describes that in his book as well.
Yeah.
You know, the oneness, the absolute oneness, which is what we feel when we die, to go into oneness. And before birth, you know, it's where our soul resides, to be in the oneness, which, well, is so, you know, miraculously celestial and complete divine love. We couldn't even describe that, could we?
No, it must be a very, very beautiful state of being, and Dr. King experienced it, and it is described in the book, The Nine Freedoms, his personal account of entering cosmic consciousness, how he entered it, and what he experienced there.
Wow, yes, and we'll go on to that in a little bit.
Okay.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to that bit. I really
yes, it's a build-up.
Yeah, there's a build-up, yeah. And moving to cosmic consciousness. So enlightenment is enlightenment of self, isn't it not? Self-realization. And then the next stage is cosmic consciousness, which is the oneness with all that is. Can you just expand on that? Yeah.
Yes. So the power of to transform our limitations begins when we learn to guide our thoughts and shape them through our right actions, like spiritual healing, as I mentioned earlier, also through prayer, meditation, service, and so forth. So when Kundalini is raised into the crown chakra, or Brahma chakra, as you mentioned, it's the highest center that we can enter it. a profound realization unfolds, and which is the interrelationship of all things. We become one with whatever we focus on. You become one with all life. You see yourself and everyone else as divine expressions of that one life, expressing through many forms, many colors and experiences. Everyone is going through different stages of experience and learning, and you're no longer also identified with any particular nationality or sex or race, but you declare, as it were, with deep inner conviction that I belong to the one race, the race of life. And that realization, you truly know the oneness of all existence. It must be absolutely fantastic, beautiful experience. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it.
I know. Hopefully we experience it in this life. But even if you have it fleetingly, like, and the masters that, and the yogis, they've experienced that. And to experience that must be so great. And then to come down, it must change your way of looking at life forever. To experience that oneness, you would never feel the same again. I think that nothing could bring you into that state of negativity in that way. You would always be, I don't know. Yeah, it's profound.
It's very profound, because that's the whole key. That is the secret. More we go within, more we'll have experiences, beautiful spiritual experiences. We'll have maybe beautiful visions, glimpses into meditation and so forth. And it will fuel us to want more, fuel us to work even harder, to get even deeper within us, to unlock the door to full realization, to meditation, and eventually to cosmic consciousness.
Yes.
So that is it. Wisdom sets us free. I mean, every time I read the Nine Freedoms or any holy text, which it is, the wisdom in them sets you free, makes you realize certain things in your life, why they're happening. And it's just really help us to wanting more, wanting to go deeper within us. And through that, we'll gain deeper and deeper realizations of all life. Yes. And will change. It will change us forever. We'll become totally different people.
And what you said, you want more and more, because that bliss state, and it's bliss, isn't it? It's undescribable, but I think I've had fleeting maybe seconds of that when I've gone in, and it's such a blissful state. That's why you want more of that. And then you bring that blissful state through you into every thought, feeling, word, and action that you make, and you give that out into the world, which is what it's about, isn't it?
Yes, and what's interesting is that with meditation is, again, you'll get different levels of meditation, and I know someone who did experience beautiful states in meditation, and he was asked by someone, now, does it not want to make you want more? And he says, well, it does, but also it wants me serve more, because I realize how important helping others as well is.
To experience that.
So it's interesting, is that
to also experience that. Yes. That's amazing, isn't it? So that we can all experience that beautiful state. Lovely.
We can, and it is. Reaching cosmic consciousness is it before ascension, which will be then next freedom. But this is a exalted, very high state among the highest fruits of meditation, and can only be reached in deepest of these inner journeys we are taking. And very little has ever been written about it, because only those few who have experienced it can talk about it, can describe it. No one else. It's through experience. And even they would admit that words fall short. So it must be experienced and understood. And Dr. King did that. He had this profound account, which I mentioned is published in the Nine Freedoms. And those few who have reached it know beyond any doubt their unity with all life. Yeah.
Unbelievable. I really yes, unity with all life. That's what it is. And but of course, you said this as well, reaching cosmic consciousness can take many lifetimes of spiritual growth and service. And, you know, only a few people have had that elevated state, as you said. Can you, so how did Dr. Kim, what did he say in the Nine Freedoms? Can you please give us a glimpse into the cosmic consciousness as experienced by Dr. Kim?
I would love to. This is really just a glimpse because it's a much longer description. He goes fully into preparation, how from the very beginning, as he started to raise Kundalini, what he experienced while Kundalini was rising up through the chakras in full. I think this is a key, full, because we might have a rise of Kundalini and have psychic experiences and surface deeper experiences. But when it's fully risen up through the chakras, now as it rises up, the lower chakras become dormant because all the energy is risen up. And as it goes higher and higher, you have different experiences, beautiful experiences. Again, it's described in the book. And as it goes higher and higher, the energy in full, everything, all the chakras then become dormant, the lower chakras, as the energy goes higher and higher into the Brahma chakra. And then Dr. King says, a glorious, brilliant flash of illumination came to him, speaking about himself. The powers before were nothing in comparison with this. O God, he was going even further upwards. And then this is the experience. He became one with that upon which his superconsciousness dwelt. He became detached from this oneness when he felt he should, in order to learn from the experience of detachment, and attached when he wanted to, in order to learn from the experience of attachment. He became existent in timelessness. He became vitally aware of the dimensions in which he existed and knew them, all 7 of them. He became as tiny as a molecule when he wanted to, and yet bigger than a world when he wished. He looked down from his lofty position high above the earth, appreciating its great glory, its power, its supreme light, perceiving the limitations it had put upon itself in order to allow live streams like him to gain the very experience which he was now living through almost godlike ecstasy. It was then, when this realization dawned, that he stopped short. He was the very power which he had sought, power beyond the wildest dreams, beyond the most imaginative conception of mere man, power to know what secrets he wished, power greater than that needed to move any mountain anywhere at any time. But yet he stopped short as though strangely disappointed with himself. Beneath him, beneath the crust of earth living the ancient globe, dwelt a greater being than he or all men, a being which had imposed upon itself crushing limitations so that the mass of man could crawl through existence upon its back in order to gain experience, knowledge, and eventually even wisdom. It was as though he had learned the great lesson brought about by striving for this, what was to him then an ultimate state of being, the lesson of detachment from even the greater states he learned, and gradually, he came back.
Wow.
So this is really just, isn't that beautiful? He was so great, so powerful, all powerful. And then when he looked down on the earth, this living goddess, which she is, he realized that he had to come back rather than enjoying this ecstatic state. He stopped short, as he describes it in the book, and came back to continue in service. And that must have been so difficult, that detachment.
Yeah.
I don't think we have comprehension of what that meant to him.
Yeah.
It was huge. It was absolutely huge.
Complete selfless service of that soul, because isn't that, if he'd have gone, that would have been his ascension.
He could have gone, but that was not his mission.
No.
Ascension. He could have ascended easily.
Yes.
Because Dr. King, in fact, we believe, who wasn't of this earth, he was, brought into the incarnated cycle of this earth, like other great masters, which is our next show, talking about life beyond earth. But he could have ascended easily, but he chose not to ascend, so he could carry on with his karmic manipulation, which he was doing, manipulating energy, spiritual energy, in so many ways, and helping humanity, helping to raise the vibration of our world through many, many, many means.
Wonderful. And teaching so many people what he'd learnt is so important. Yes. So that we can all experience these wonderful, wow, cosmic consciousness, amazing. The best one is leading on for that, of course, the sixth freedom, ascension. Now, there's so many people, they don't know what ascension means, and there's so much on the internet. Oh, I've ascended. Yeah, it's like only the masters who can get to that level can you say that you have ascended. Ascension is the final portal on earth. What does this mean, and how does it relate to the end of the reincarnation cycle, which is samsara, isn't it? The rebirth, the death, rebirth that goes on and on and on. It's really a soul trap, isn't it, in that way? And we become released from that.
We are breaking away from the wheel of rebirth. So essentially is the final portal, and we must walk through this portal on this planet, and it is the culmination of every single experience we have undergone on Earth in our former lives, which is many, many countless lives. And before reaching ascension, we must be able to enter cosmic consciousness at will. And that this is regardless of the conditions around us, even if our surroundings are not conducive to entering cosmic consciousness, this very elevated state. To demonstrate that we are ready for ascension, we must be able to do it. So this is a big one, So cosmic consciousness, before ascending, you might have to enter cosmic consciousness a number of times, depending on your karmic pattern. So once you have done that, once you have freedom from rebirth, and you can only then achieve those who have gained wisdom through countless experiences and lessons they have to offer. So our planet serves, as I mentioned earlier, as a classroom. No one can leave it permanently until we have learned all the lessons, every single experience we learned from. And that will qualify us to ascend to a higher plane of existence. And whether you stay on this planet or move on to another planet, for further experiences, for further learning, it's just a higher classroom. And the reason why we have to do this is because the conditions on those planets are so high, so elevated, we would be out of place. We would feel out of place. We would not learn what we need to learn. That's why we have to graduate, as it were, from Earth first, before we can move on, before we are ready. So reincarnation is an essential aspect of truth, divine truth, that all major religions sooner or later will have to embrace, will have to teach.
Yes.
But here is the key. it's not enough to live through experiences. We must learn from them. I think this is the key. We must learn and understand. And only then we can step beyond the cycle of rebirth and then embrace the freedom of ascension.
That's right. And Sri Yukteswar, who was the teacher of Yogananda, he talks all about the different multidimensions that we can go into, the lokas. We go through them in when we die, but we can go through them when we have cosmic consciousness and when we ascend. And I believe that they are linked to the 7 planets, in our realm, in our solar system. And I mean, and that's why we elevate and we elevate and we elevate. But also the masters, once you've reached that ascension, you go into the oneness and you go to the highest levels, but they choose sometimes to come back to this earth to teach, don't they? Maybe sometimes not in body form, like Mars Sextus Sextus he's channeled through, or maybe sometimes, as Dr. King, as Jesus, they came down in bodily form to teach us their wisdom, their divine wisdom, which is such a sacrifice, isn't it?
It must be a great sacrifice for them, but then they are willing to give that sacrifice because they also know that greater beings than themselves have made even greater sacrifices. So they feel like this is their duty, and they want to do it. What's interesting, it's not something that is forced on anybody, because that is it. Enlightenment will give us that understanding, that realization, and that want to do it. And that's what's beauty about it, is that the lives of experiences, the lives of service, will help us to give that understanding and appreciation. And then we want to sacrifice more, we want to give more, and help people who have not yet ascended to go through the same experience, because you as an ascended master, as an ascended being, would have gone through this beautiful experience, initiation, which is actually, there is a beautiful account of, it's called Glory of Ascension in the Nine Freedoms book, when an Indian girl goes through ascension, and it describes what she goes through. And it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And it was witnessed by Dr. King while he was in a projected state. He was invited to this initiation, and other great masters were there. And it's described in the book, and it's absolutely beautiful, and it's very enlightening. And that is something that's waiting for each and every one of us. One day we will go through ascension.
And
it's our birthright.
Yeah, it's our birthright, isn't it? And as we do that, of course, being of service, giving that out, we elevate our ascension. It's like a circle, isn't it? The more we give that spiritual healing, the more of service we can be to humanity, the more we elevate ourselves, and then we come back, and it's just a complete circle. It's beautiful.
It is very interesting, because more you give, more you serve, then more you will want to serve.
Yeah,
it's quite interesting, but it's something again to be experienced, to put into practice, and it changed my life. I love my life, I must say. I feel fulfilled with the work I do, which is spiritual work. I feel very, very fortunate. But we can all put ourselves in that position. We can all, as before we said it in previous episodes, we can rise above our environment. It might be hard work and may not happen straight away, but we have to break away certain limitations, certain barriers, these layers of colored cloth we put around ourselves. We have to work through them. It won't happen over time. And if it does happen over time, if it happens very quickly, that means that you worked at it previous lives. So
that's right.
So yeah, we can all achieve that. It is wonderful.
And the concept of an ascended master, yes, this is fascinating, without an aura. Could you please explain what this means and how such a being still radiates immense spiritual presence and healing power? Now, you know the Master Babaji, they say that he doesn't have a body. He's just in the spiritual, higher astral realms all the time, guarding over humanity. But what does it mean not to have an aura? Please explain that.
Yes, now this is brilliant. I mean, when I first read about it, I thought, wow, this is amazing. I didn't know it even was possible. But and as you say, probably not many people realize that a master without an aura. And Mars Sector 6 actually also mentions it in Freedom. He says, such a one as this has a great auric field around themselves, for they have no aura. So there's a contradiction here. Mm-hmm. Such a one as this transmutes all energies onto those planes which can then be tapped and used by others, less evolved, thereby helping all life streams upon Terra. So it appears to be contradicting, but it isn't. Because he says that those who have passed through the initiation of ascension have learned to draw even the energies of their aura deep within themselves into their subtle bodies, so that they can use and direct these refined energies consciously. And although they appear to have no aura, their magnetic influence extends for miles around them. So when they go, for example, they leave behind an unmistakable sense of peace, a beautiful healing presence that will uplift others, strengthen others, everyone around them or comes in contact with them. The words they speak, they inspire and heal, because they have transmuted all the energies in such a way that those energies cannot be used by other people, be it consciously or unconsciously. And through this, they gain great strength and guidance, inspiration, and that these beings radiate pure spiritual power. They are the light itself. Yes. And I must say, I find that myself when I listen to Dr. King, or when I listen to, or even read, but especially when I listen to communications he received, such as Mars Sector 6 and others, I feel like I can do anything. I feel empowered. I feel a certain peace and also healing energy that imbues me, and it's a very, very delicate, beautiful feeling, beautiful sensation. I always feel uplifted. So this is like an unconscious exchange of energy. Beautiful. And it can be experienced. We just need to be aware of it when we read a beautiful sacred text, when we hear a master speaking, giving its teaching, or like Dr. King, or other great masters. You will pick up on their holy vibration, and it is most inspiring, uplifting, and healing. I find it myself.
Yes. And when you talk about they are of the light, that's what ascension is, isn't it? It's leaving the body while we are, not when we die, because when we die this happens naturally, but we can do it now within our lifetime in this physical body. And it's the light energy body, the spiritual body, the light energy body, that is the body that ascends, isn't it? The light energy, we ascend into our light energy body. The yogis call it the rainbow body, which is what I believe the resurrection was in Jesus's story. He resurrected. He was a light energy body. He lifted he ascended.
Now this is very interesting, because I mentioned that Indian girl who's essentially described in the 9 Freedoms. In that, it tells you that actually her physical body, because there's nothing wasted. Our physical body is energy. So the final initiation is that breaking up the physical body, the energy, the molecule, everything, and then building an ageless body.
Yes.
It might look the same, but it won't have any wrinkles. So if you ascend as a 60-year-old or an 80-year-old or a younger, I mean, she was only 18, I believe. When you have an ascended body, you won't see aged. It will be without wrinkles. It will be radiant. It will still look like a physical body, but it will be very different. And those masters who go through ascension and choose to stay on earth take on this ageless body. And you could live in that body for decades, for 1,000 years or even longer. And these masters then become members of the also called as the Great White Brotherhood or the spiritual hierarchy of Earth, which is dedicated to helping humanity toward enlightenment, towards ascension. And in this brotherhood or hierarchy, it's not just men, it's women as well from different races, and they're not just white. So they work behind the scenes, they influence world events, inspiring great thinkers. They send waves of their healing energy, uplifting vibrations across the planet. We don't realize that without these ascended masters, they're also helping to balance or hold the light on Earth. Because without them, without the holy vibrations, the holy presence, our planet would be very different, placed very differently karmically. It would be a much darker place. And throughout history, there have been great masters who, some of them have revealed themselves to humanity, helping to steer them in the right direction. A very well-known one in the West is Count Saint Germain. He's recorded throughout history. And another great master in the East, you mentioned the Lord Babaji, who Dr. King revealed that he's been in the same body, called it ascended body, for 3,000 million years.
He's the overseer. But you know what? This is so beautiful because I believe that all of ascension, one day we will all be in our light energy bodies and heaven will be on earth. There will not be any material duality then. It will just be the oneness of heaven and earth that we will all be. This is, and actually the Gnostics and the Essenes I've done lots of studying on them, and they believed that in the beginning we were light energy bodies, but we fell into, into duality, to know ourselves because we was in the oneness. So we had to experience the separation of this material world for us to want the union, the yearning of that, oneness again, to raise ourselves up, ascend in our light energy body to the oneness. Isn't that beautiful, that heaven and earth?
It is, and it's a beautiful vision as well. And I'm sure it's a dream of many of us to have once again heaven on earth, which will happen one day. Talking about humanity's history, there's in the introduction, there's a beautiful description of that it reveals that we're actually not originally from this planet, that we've been here for over 18 million years, but we came from another planet called Maldek, which was in the solar system, which is now the asteroid belt, which was destroyed. So if people are interested in the true history of our race, you'll be able to read about that, and how when we came to this planet, how other major civilizations such as Lemuria and Atlantis flourished. It's very fascinating.
Yes, I totally believe that. Yes. But then the physical, the material, the ego overtook their spirituality. This is why it's so important. Technology in this era now that we are in this time, our our ego and our technology cannot overtake our spirituality. Spirituality is the most important because it gives us the values to be of loving service to everyone. And, you know, that was their downfall, was it not?
It is the lost self. So we need to transmute our lost self and rise above it. And we can do it through love, through service. There's so many ways we can do that. And you mentioned that we were light beings in the beginning. Yes, that's our you know, we are all spirit.
Yes.
And we have a soul. And our soul, if we really, you know, when we ascend, we become again beautiful light beings.
Yeah.
We can take on physical bodies. We would take on physical bodies, but we can. It's amazing what these ascended masters they can do, because they have completely mastered mind over matter. They can project between realms, because we live on a physical realm, but there are higher realms and lower ones. They can walk through a thick wall if they wanted to,
Yes.
because they have mastered all that.
Yes.
They can be standing in a burning fire and not be hurt by it. So they have extraordinary abilities as well, these ascended masters.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. And as you said before, some ascended masters, they choose to remain on earth to help humanity. We talked about that one. But finally, what does it mean to become a virtual divine flame in the darkness? And how can our listeners and our audience relate to the idea?
Yes, now this is very beautiful, and it is really a meditation. So if I may, I would like to read this to you. And this is when you reach ascension. This is really a pinnacle of your advancement on earth. And Mars Sector 6 says, and for this, if you wish to, you can close your eyes, and I would like to read you these beautiful, inspiring words. Just take your focus within, go within, and just make sure your body is relaxed. Sit comfortably with the eyes closed. Let's concentrate and then contemplate on these words. You are then truly climbing the ladder of evolution, for you then become a virtual flame in the darkness, a flame which knoweth its source, a flame which forever pointeth upwards to that source, a flame which gaineth energy from itself, a flame all transmuting, all vibrant, all living, all light, a flame which cannot be extinguished, a flame which burneth brightly despite all environment, all pressing condition. Such a one as this has a great auric field around themselves, for they have no aura. Such a one as this transmutes all energies onto those planes, which can then be tapped and used by others less evolved, thereby helping all life streams upon Terra. This is ascension. It is not the result of decree, mantra, or any other mystic practice, but the result of all spiritual experience culminated into one facet. The Mars Sector 6 then continues with the meditation on the chakras. He says, know this. When the two faces of the heart are blue and cold, when the one face of the throat is pink and cold, when the three faces in the head are violet and yellow and violet and cold, Then cometh great awareness. When the globe above this head shineth through the consciousness of the individual and the power, as stated, is risen and lodged in a place, then cometh ascension, but not until this. Even in many that you regard as masters upon terra, the power which is still warm in these places, karma cannot smile upon this warmness. Meditate upon these things, and much will be learned. So it is truly a meditation. It is very beautiful, very, very extremely deep. But what it says here, that while there is still warmth in the chakras, in the lower chakras, even in a Christ center, you still can't ascend. You have to take it up into the Brahma chakra and then go into ascension. So you can't have any energies left in the lower centers. So that is very interesting. I think that is very revealing. And it is really deserves a contemplation and meditation.
Yes. Yes, you said that before, didn't you?
Yeah.
Shutting down the lower.
Yeah. Taking all the energy up.
So it's all, yes.
All the energy.
And that's how, what he says is, the color, but then it becomes cold.
Yes. It's very interesting about the colors. I mean, when you start focusing on the Christ center or the third eye, just a few inches away from it, then you might start seeing different colors of light and focusing on that light. And it's just gradually you're just bringing the energies up. You turning your focus high up. You're not focusing down there. You drawing your focus up into the crown center. Sorry, the Christ center. Yeah. And focusing up there. So you're drawing the energies up through the spine, up through the chakras into a higher chakra. And eventually, through this practice, you'll be able to enter meditation in its state. But it's a gradual process. And there are different stages of it, different levels of meditation as well. So it will take lives.
Yes, yes, that's right.
it's not an instant thing.
Yeah.
And if it has happened in this life, that means you worked at it in previous lives.
Beautiful. And so at the Aetherius Society, you teach what Dr. King, through the 9 freedoms and through many other. I mean, that's what I love about the Aetherius Society, because it's so vast. You have the yoga, then you have the spiritual healing, and the 12 blessings and the 9. It encompasses so much about spirituality and what it means to be a human divine being.
It is, and it's quite. Some people wonder. So you do Buddhist, you chant Buddhist and Tibetan mantras, but you also do Christian prayers, and it's just so different to to other religions.
Yes, it encompasses all of them, which is what I believe. Every religion, we should take a little bit of everyone and then bring it within us, and our own religion within, our own guru and our own Buddha within, which is what the whole ultimate goal is. That's how we reach ascension, is it not? To go within to that. Yes. Wow.
Absolutely. And the practices that we do in the Aetherius Society are very, very powerful and very practical. And it's all about energy manipulation, be it on an individual level, sending distant healing to people who request to be on our absent healing list, or sending healing prayers to the world through the practice of the 12 blessings. So world healing services we also do online, and other missions that we perform, like Operation Prayer Power, when we actually store spiritual energy in a radionic equipment, in a battery, which has crystals in them and so forth, other precious metals that will hold on to the energy. And then that battery is then placed on another equipment which draws the energy out from the battery, the spiritual energy, and then it can be radiated out to the world. And it is all the invention of Dr. King. It was way ahead of its time.
Yeah.
He was a great master. He was an inventor. He was so many things. He was just so great. So it's difficult to, in a way, comprehend what he is.
And where can we, please give us where we can go to read the 9 freedoms and practice it, and of the Aetherius Society?
Yes. So there is you'll find a link from my website. Or you could also, my website is noemibates.com, or you could get it from the Aetherius Society website, which is aetherius.org. So you'll find a lot about the Aetherius Society there, what it does, what it stands for, how you can participate with many activities, either in-house or online. Whatever you can do, but we've got services going on, outpouring of healing light is going on every single day from different parts of the world as well. So
wonderful.
Everyone can do something, and we can all do our part which is so key, to flood our world with light and love. After all, we are light workers.
Yes.
That's what we do.
That's what we are. That's what we've been talking about. That's what
yes,
isn't it? You know, we are the light workers and the way showers. So
yes,
that's beautiful.
Yes,
and Noémi, please tell us, what are the last 3 freedoms that we can expect on episode 3?
Now, the final episode, yes, this is the pinnacle, is interplanetary existence. So those who live on other planets, great beings who live on other planets on different or higher frequency of vibration. So interplanetary existence, Saturnian existence, Saturn being the most advanced planet in the solar system. So the masters living there are extremely highly elevated and advanced. And believe it or not, there is also life on the sun, so solar existence. So this is the final step in the solar system, because life continues even beyond the solar system. But the 9 freedoms takes us up to solar existence.
Yes.
Which is, I think, it's plenty for us to note.
Maybe in a different dimension that we can't see, we can't experience, because we're in a denser, reality. Yeah. Wow.
Definitely.
Well, I say, Noémi, thank you so much once again for this wonderful episode, and for teaching us so much about the cosmic consciousness and ascension, and for all of your divine wisdom. So thank you for being on the Great Awakening Show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for the wonderful work you are doing as well, through, sending out love, light, and great wisdom to your listeners. Thank you very much.
Thank you.